Trey, I don't know if you noticed, but my man Brandon from the block, he wanted to ask, he wanted me to ask you this question: Who are your top five quarterbacks of all time?
Top five. Oh, Brady, Manning, um,
Is this
Elway.
no? Is this no particular order, or just or this is
No,
all
no,
of
he
them?
wanted to ask Trey, yeah, in top five in that order.
Brady,
Oh, okay, my fault.
Brady, Brady, Manning, Elway, Marino. Number five. Who would be
Whoa, 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 whoa! You
Who
said
the
El.
hell number three? Don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him. No, 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 no.
and who would
Let him
be no
finish. Let him finish. You said
who?
Brady, Manning,
Brady,
Elway,
Manning, Elway,
Marino.
Marino,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting to number five. I'm trying to see who would be number five.
No Montana for you?
Nope.
Wow.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt him there.
No, no,
No,
no. Let him finish.
No.
Yeah,
See,
I'm doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, and y'all thought I was crazy, huh?
no,
That's
you're
what it was.
still crazy. You're still crazy. You're
Y'all
not
thought
a
I was
bust.
Cocoa
wild. No,
Puffs.
I'm
That's
not.
one
No,
thing
I'm
for
not.
sure. You
I
voted
said
for
I said
Cocoa
Drew
Puffs.
Brees was French top five, and I meant it, bro. Ain't nobody argue me on that.
Oh my.
Wait a minute, Trey. You don't even have Joe Montana top five?
Who's the last quarterback? Who's the last quarterback? 'Cause
Where
you
my
got
head said that, bro?
four. You got Brady,
I
Manning,
have four. I have four.
Elway, and Marino. Okay, who's the fifth?
It's Jim Kelly.
No, Aaron Rodgers. No Aaron Rodgers. No. Leaf, get him, bro.
Wait a
He
minute.
violated your
Wait a
man.
minute.
Bro,
Let me
you got
talk.
Jim Kelly a top five?
Jim
Yes.
Kelly?
You
This is
And he
yeah.
went
We
to
yo,
four
we nah,
Super
we
Bowls.
yo, next segment,
Lost.
man. Next
No, we
segment,
gotta
man.
get to you. This we
Nah,
gotta.
hell
Are
no.
you
I'm not
serious
arguing this
right
shit.
Leave.
now,
Nah,
This
nah,
is
bro?
nah.
my
Next
pod. I can do
Yeah.
whatever I want, man. You don't tell me what to
right.
do.
But listen, please, pretty please, we should go on top. Next
Hell
segment.
no, not after what you said up the disrespect, the
No,
audacity.
no,
Somebody
no,
should
no.
slap you in the face after what you said about Drew Brees, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man.
Jim
How can
Kelly over
you
Aaron Rodgers is blasphemy too. We not gonna let no Joe
Hey,
Montana.
okay?
Trey, let me ask you this, bro. I got to ask you this. You listening, bro?
I'm listening. I'm listening to all y'all. I can hear you.
Do you put Jim Kelly? And I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I'm not trying to be antagonistic. Do you put Jim Kelly in your top five because of the K gun offense and how he was able to run the no huddle and kind of revolutionize doing that?
No, I put him in my top five simply because he took a franchise like Buffalo, who was, let's just be honest. You want to talk about a franchise who was not it? They was terrible. Yeah, granted, they drafted Andre Reed, Bruce Smith, and I think
Thurman
Thurman Thomas
Thomas.
came. I think Thurman Thomas came after that though.
Thurman
He came
Thomas
like
was there for all the Super Bowl runs. So.
he came like yeah, he was there for the run. But I'm saying he came the year after Jim did.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say this. Number one, hey, your list, not a crazy list, but your list nevertheless. Are you aware out of all of those quarterbacks that you picked in your top five, Jim Kelly had arguably the most talented team on that list and never won one Super Bowl?
By far.
Because not only did he had two Hall of Fame wide receivers in Andre Reed and James Lofton. James Lofton don't get a lot of credit. And people talk about Thurman Thomas, but you know, Kenneth Davis was a great running back as well.
Well, I
Then
would
you
say
had
I would,
wait.
yeah.
Then you had a stacked linebacker core with Darryl Talley, Cornelius Bennett, and Shane Conlon. Then you had Columbus, Georgia's own Nate Odoms at the cornerback position. He was a Pro Bowler. And you know, all of those weapons, and not to mention Marv Levy. Not to mention Marv Levy, yet he did not beat any of the teams that he came up against. So I have to ask you, how are we able to put him on top team? To a certain extent, and I will say to a certain extent, I understand Marino because he didn't have the talent. He had to deliver them much like Josh Allen is doing with the Buffalo Bills right now. But Jim Kelly in top five conversations with the talented teams that he had, with Pro Bowlers at every position and Hall of Famers at every single position. Not to mention you have the all-time sack leader in Bruce Smith, and in the middle of your reign as the great quarterback of that franchise, you had an MVP caliber running back who won the MVP, who rushed for who had 2,003 yards from scrimmage during his MVP year, and you still cannot win a Super Bowl after going 4 straight times and going to the AFC Championship 5 years in a row. I cannot get with that.
Well, to piggyback off of what you just said, 3 out of those 4 losses, his teammates sold him. 3 out of those 4.
Couldn't get
The
more.
first one was Scott Norwood missed the field goal. Then there was the one where Thurman Thomas was just a dumbass and forgot his helmet. Then there's the other one where the defense just gave up in the second half.
You do realize during that first Super Bowl against the Dallas Cowboys, the offense turned the ball over 10 times.
The only one where I say it was like really his fault was that first time they played the Cowboys, where he got knocked out, where they turned the ball over, then he got knocked out of the game.
Yeah, they turned the ball, and he himself turned the ball over 5 out of those 10 times. And then Frank Wright came in.
Didn't Frank Wright get him to the Super Bowl one time, bro?
Yeah, Frank Wright did get him to the Super Bowl by defeating the Houston Oilers in that 35-7 comeback win. So I mean, I understand. Hey, he's an all-time great, Jim Kelly, and I'm not taking anything away from him. But out of every last one of those quarterbacks that you named in the top 5, he had arguably the most talent that he had the best players money could buy on that team, and still he could not deliver a Super Bowl. And not only that, you got to think about the NFC Championship that he lost in 1988 when he faced Boomer Esiason during his MVP year.
Well, of course they lost that when Cincinnati was on the road that year.
But they had that same team, Trey.
Yeah, they had that same team, but they was just getting started.
I can understand what you're saying because they didn't start the K-Gun offense until the next year. However, that team was more talented.
One thing I will say, the one thing they won't say, really, the K-Gun offense came from Cincinnati.
Yeah, the West Coast version of it, but the K-Gun offense came from their tight end. This name started with a K. That's why they call it the K-Gun offense, because they used to roll him out as a wide receiver in the slot. That's why they called it the K-Gun offense.
Yeah,
he was on there the whole time. The only thing that they did different in that offense that year was do the no huddle. The only thing they did differently is do the no huddle. The K-Gun offense was always the K-Gun offense. The only thing they did is do the no huddle the very next year after they lost the NFC Championship to Boomer Esiason and Ickey Wood. That's the only thing that was different about that team was the no huddle.
All right, y'all. Let's move on.